So this will literally quite be the fastest walkthrough I've ever done for a Mural template. This is going to be a dash walkthrough for the dash session, the first day, because it's very late at night and I don't want to ramble. So I'm going to try to be as succinct as possible. So here we go. This consists of 4 hours worth of templates. The first one is preparation. The other 3 are normal for day 1. So if you want to do problem framing, you have to add an additional hour if you want. Otherwise, you can use the problem framing session that was included in an earlier video as well as a template to go through those. So this is going to be a lightweight problem framing in this introductory section here. Let me zoom in. We can get right into it. When you first get the template, you want to put in all the relevant information around your day and date that you're going to be doing your first day, your team name, as well as all the names of everyone and the avatars, which you'll be using a lot on this particular template. The practice session that starts in the preparation section is all about making your own problem statement. You basically have to put your own avatars here and your names in a particular swim lane down here. Read each section and explain a professional challenge that you're dealing with, the pains and problems that it causes, and a how might I statement that basically posits where you could go from here based on what you share with everyone. There's no voting involved. This is just basically to go through the exercise of writing a problem statement and sharing it with the rest of your team to get you also prepared for what's to come. Right here in this next one is a review section that goes into a little bit of inquiry around if the team understands the challenge and the audience they've taken on. If you think you know it pretty well, you just move your avatar over here to yes, and you're good to go. If you're in the and no category, then it behooves you to put some questions in here to explain what about the challenge in the audience you do not understand that you need to talk through before moving forward. I highly suggest that you do that if that is the case. You don't want anyone on the team feeling confused about what you're doing at any point during the dash. Once you kind of go through this, whether it's 5 minutes or 15 minutes, you move on to pains and problems. Really simple. Put every kind of pain and problem you can think of that corresponds to the challenge and the audiences that you're going to be engaging. If you need more cards, just basically copy them down here. But once you have all of the cards that you can think of, you're going to put them down in these categories and do some affinity diagramming. So drag some cards underneath the category that makes sense and just name the category what you want. And eventually you do a voting session where you vote for your top 3 problems. If you have more than 3, you can use this importance index line and do some mouse voting to figure out which ones are more important to the team and which are less. You take the top 3, move them over here, and lo and behold, it is the same exact exercise you started with. Only this time, you are going to be looking at this from an objective point of view and looking at the challenge that you're concerned about, the pains and problems that your audience goes through, which you kind of outlined here from the previous exercise, and then a how might we sentence that basically is an open-ended question about where the solution may be or where you're going to go as a team. Now, once you kind of go through those and write them all out, you can do a quick 60-second kind of read through of each. But eventually, you're going to do a vote, and you take that winning problem statement and you put it in here, copy and paste it, put it into its own box, and you are done. SpongeBob rainbows for everybody, but do take a break. Don't work straight through in your sessions; it's not good for you. So once you do your break, you're going to move over to the first official hour of the day of the dash, the first day dash day. And you're going to be going through a practice session. And by the way, these practice sessions are optional. You don't need to do them if you don't want to, but this will prepare you for what kind of exercise you're going to do later on in the hour. And this one goes into a hypothetical service, product, or idea that you are going to pitch to someone on the team. You're not going to tell them you're going to pitch to them, but you basically put your avatar and your name here, and then think of the person that encounters a situation and the product, service, or idea that you're going to create that will help them when the following situation occurs. So basically, it's kind of, these two are kind of similar, but if this particular situation happens, if this person I'm thinking about encounters a situation, and then this will help them when the following situation occurs to this person. So these are very, very closely tied together, but that's purposeful. It's just to basically have you thinking about the situation. So once you write these out, have a little bit of fun, you can go over here to review and review your problem statement, what you just built in the previous section, any outstanding questions you have to understand it better. You move on to generating a ton of ideas, as many ideas as you can based on that how might we statement from your how might we sentence from your problem statement. You put all those there, do more affinity diagramming, hit a top 3 ideas to explore in the next exercise, put those here, and lo and behold, it's what you had just talked about. But it's arranged a little differently for something called a market engagement hypothesis. That's a short sentence to encapsulate the basic premise of your idea and how you expect the market to engage with it. Use these steps to create your own. Basically, you start out with, if you offer this product, you expect your audience to perform this action to receive something of value at this particular place, context, or situation. Do your best to put those in there. All of these are particularly, they're all text boxes, so you just have to double click them to put in your 2 cents. Everyone goes in and puts their particular one, and you're going to be basically voting on the one you'd like to move forward with. So whatever one garners the most votes, usually you vote on the avatar or the name. Go ahead and copy and paste the waiting set of if, then, for, when, all of these into the space you create, just like you did with your problem statement, a market engagement hypothesis, and you're all done with hour 1. Going into hour 2, we have another role play session over here, or a little icebreaker, so to speak, where you're going to be doing some role playing. So the market engagement hypothesis you just recreated, you're going to have one person who's a buyer, another person who's a seller. Now, the buyer is the person that is from the target audience that you are going to be designing for and that you're going to be pitching to. And on the seller side, you're going to act as the representative of the team's product. And each of these is going to take about 5 minutes, but it's just basically a conversation about the seller saying, to the buyer, you should probably consider this particular product. And what you'll learn from this is how you would talk to someone else about your idea or your concept or where you want to go in the market and what questions potentially people might ask. So just do this for about 5, 10, 15 minutes just to get a little bit of fun, but to understand the give and take when it comes to understanding and also pitching something that you just kind of hypothesize that the market may want. Going back into a review session, look at what you've just done with the problem statement, market engagement hypothesis, and any questions you'd like to ask before moving on to step 1. Now, what you're going to be doing is kind of exploring your audience and getting specific. So let's say when you're thinking about what you just described in your market engagement hypothesis and who would be part of it, maybe you know immediately who somebody could be that would be really interested in what you guys are doing. So put that name there and then work to the left so you can be a bit more general once you have that particular person that you're thinking about. If you don't know of anybody, but you know a community that may work, you can start here and move to the right and get more specific, or you can keep on being general. But whatever you decide to do, whatever your starting point is, go ahead and put it on all those cards in here, and then hold a vote so that each column has at least one vote from each person. So when you hold your mural vote, which is going to be up here, you're going to put one vote for this particular column for each person, one vote for community people, one vote for a specific type of person, and one vote for someone in your network. So if there's 8 team members, there is one vote. That's 8 votes for each column, and you're going to eventually target in on one particular card that seems to reflect the general audience, community people, and so on. You don't vote on a perfect person to ask because that would be favoritism, and plus you're going to be using that column in a different way for step 2, which is a combination of what you just did in the previous one. You're going to put your top voted cards here, and then you're also going to be thinking about where they sit in the pain and buying power matrix that's provided here. Now, this is a different way of looking at an audience. It's looking at and kind of thinking about how much pain they're currently going through and how much buying power they have to remedy that pain. Is somebody in your network that you're thinking about, is somebody who has a lot of money or has a lot of funding but is really affected by this? Are they somebody that they can afford the best solution if they want it? Or are they on a budget? Maybe they don't have enough money. But you're going to put these 4 cards where you think they go in here, and then you're going to go back to step 1. Look at the perfect person ask that's in here if you did put their name, and think of where they basically would fit on this pain and buying power kind of arena, okay? And again, you don't need to vote on any of this. This is just basically to see where in your audience, where they kind of sit in terms of not only the pain that they feel with this particular problem and also the buying power. And this is from the team's perspective, but this will really help you going forward in terms of how you position your particular your particular prototypes. And you're done with this hour. Let's go over here to hour number 2. Oh, number 3. We're on 3 already. So this is a pitch exercise. And what this is that a team member, and you can do it random or just basically volunteer, they're going to pitch a hypothetical product in 60 seconds. It could be funny, crazy, practical, whatever it is. You put your name here, the name of the idea. You explain it in text and images as you're kind of going through it, or even before then. And then as you do that, when you reach your 60-second pitch limit, other team members are going to put dollar amounts over here so they can copy and paste these particular ones and put them on top of whatever you're doing and explain what they liked and didn't like about it. And again, what this is meant to do is to kind of show you how different people perceive value. That audiences perceive value in different ways depending on what you give them or what you're offering them. But again, it's getting that mindset around how you basically pitch or sell whatever you are doing to audiences that may or may not be your target or otherwise. How do you market what you're talking about? So again, this is optional. If you want to do it, great. If not, no big deal. You're going to review your body of work so far, the problem statement, the meh, the audiences, and the pain and buying power, which leads into what options are there to choose from. So your audiences are going to have a lot of different things that they can kind of pick and choose to satisfy that market engagement hypothesis, besides the thing that you're thinking about as a team. What are those? What do you know in the market that could basically satisfy the market engagement hypothesis or something similar to it that's another company or another individual is selling? Put everything you can think of and that you know of in there. Maybe you could take 3 to 5 minutes to do a little bit of searching online. Once you do that, kind of organize them again, Affinity Diagramming down here. Then pick out the top 3 options and rank them by cost, what's more expensive versus least expensive. Once you get those done, you're going to basically sidestep that a bit and go into your unique value proposition. So you've looked at what your competitors are doing. You know what you're kind of offering the market. So you're going to finish this sentence, and everyone's going to have their own take. But it's like, finish this sentence. Unlike our competitors, our product service idea does what? And everyone will have their own kind of point of view on this. You're going to go ahead and put in what you think is the proper phrase for this. You'll do a vote, and there'll be one that comes out top that you can move forward with, and that you'll be done. And that is it for the first day. Hopefully that was an informative walkthrough. I didn't go too fast, but I probably did. And we'll see you tomorrow for day number 2. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.